If you're a fan of Batman and you're a fan of cancelled games, then I've got quite the video here for you because we're going to be talking about one of the coolest games that actually got cancelled. And this game was meant to be set in the Nolan universe, the Dark Knight Trilogy, right? This is where the game was going to be set, and it had so many cool little things that would have made this game truly special. Now, if you don't know, this game was meant to be made by Monolith Games, and if you don't know who they are, Monolith Games is behind Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, the Fear games. There could have been so much potential here, but clearly it got cancelled because the Arkham games were in development, or at least the very first one. So this is before that one, and the first Arkham game, I'm pretty sure, came out 2009. So it is quite unfortunate, but there is so much in this video that you're going to see, from, you know, concept arts to full-on gameplay, and it's going to be fantastic. But before we do get into that, there are some details I got to talk about here when it comes to the gameplay loop and everything like that. And this was actually all found and preserved by Back to Life. I found this thanks to some of my Discord friends, and this was backed up on the Internet Archive, so I'll have the link to everything in the description. But here we go with the details. So, general gameplay loop. What were the core actions players repeated throughout the game? And the answer to that is primarily stealth and combat being the two main gameplay loops. And the coolest thing was that this game was meant to include the Nemesis system, obviously an earlier version that we saw in Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. And if you don't know what that is, the Nemesis system is one of the coolest things that's obviously now patented and exclusive to those games slash the Wonder Woman game that's coming out. So the Nemesis system randomizes enemies for everyone, and a lot of things have cause and effect. And also, these enemies will remember you, what you did to them, or what they did to you, which is so cool. Like, it leads to so much replayability and so much fun. I had so many hours in Shadow of Mordor just because of how cool this system is. But like I said, unfortunately, it is patented and is only exclusive to the developers behind, you know, Shadow of Mordor. And I really wish it wasn't, because a lot more games could benefit from this, right? There was also, like, this game was going to include some vehicles as well, the Tumbler being confirmed. And when it comes to the open world, there's a question here: did the world feel alive and interactive, or was it empty and lifeless? But the answer was, it's hard to say, too little is known. Project Apollo was quite early on, right? And it got cancelled quite early on too. Did the game borrow elements from the Batman Begins movie or the Arkham games? And the answer is, I would say the game itself borrows quite heavily from Batman Begins game in terms of stealth and cover, but could be compared to something like Splinter Cell with light and shadow, night vision, and wall hugging mechanics. Combat mechanics. How did the combat function? Also difficult to say. You can see snippets of combat moves in the upgrade screen, so we're going to get to that as well. Footage authenticity. Was the shown footage actual gameplay or pre-rendered cinematic cutscene? And obviously all the footage is actual gameplay, which is fantastic. So TLDR with all of this is Monolith Games developed alongside Arkham City, another contributing factor to the cancellation, were never given the thumbs up by Nolan, and ultimately got this game cancelled, right? And there's a fun fact when it comes to all of this is that Batman's model was actually used in early testing for Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor as a placeholder for what would eventually become the Ranger of the Blackgate Talion, right? So this would have been awesome as a game. Now let's get into some details when it comes to this game, right? So let's have an early look at one of these, I guess, early tests here. So you've got connecting to the suit here, and you know, you've got this HUD here when it comes to all of the combat and gadgets and things. So you can see, like, he would have been able to use karate moves, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, and combat tech, and all of these had their own trees that you'd go down and unlock as the game progressed. It used a lot of points. It recovers Batman's combat attacks for karate fighting style. Would have been quite awesome to see, right? Then we keep it moving. You've got stealth here, stealth moves, visibility, sounds, and stealth tech. And I love the way Batman looks here. Like, I think these little arts and things, I'm just a sucker for this type of thing, man. And if you know this channel, like if you've been here before, I've covered the cancelled Spider-Man 4 game. I've also talked about the cancelled Flash game, also from around this time, which is such a shame that those were cancelled, because imagine if we had a Flash game alongside like a Batman game like this. It would have been sick. But unfortunately, that Flash game was very, very technologically limited, right? So here we have gadget specialization. You've got detective, movement, and general tech. Also, this dude looks very like bulked up. Look at him. So you got EMP grenades and things like that. I love this bit here where it's like sending suit configuration. It's very, very cool. Now we've got some minigame prototypes here. So the first one you see is an audio filter thing here, and something that you might notice here is the longer you take to complete, the less XP you get. So you want to be really fast with these, otherwise, like, look at that, your XP goes all the way down until you pretty much get nothing, right? Then you've got like a DNA sequence minigame, so you can see that XP dropping quite fast, so it does incentivize you to just get the sequence right as soon as possible, otherwise you lose a ton of XP. So, you know, it makes the minigames a bit more intense, a bit more fun, but who knows how fun that could have been. Now this whole node one is pretty simple, pretty quick. Looks pretty fun here, establishing the connection. So that's interesting too to see. Then we've got, you know, this connecting the server one, so you got to get all these nodes disabled, right? Then yeah, like you've got a password length, and then you got to enter the password. So this is just like guess what the sequence is, like of the Xbox buttons, like X, B, Y, and A. So just guess it before you run out of time. So this is another thing that looked quite cool, right? Like genuinely looked awesome. This is actual gameplay with sound. So check this out. This is fully in game. You can even see like rain on him. And for an Xbox 360 game, dude, oh my god. Is this even an Xbox 360 game? I think it would have been, right? But look at this, man. You've got like the skill trees here. Wow, man. This genuinely looks so cool. Like, it's my first time seeing this in such like high detail. Damn, counter knockback. That looked cool as hell, dude. And obviously, this is also very inspired because I read like a thing that had extra details. So you see like all of these bits here. They're very inspired by the whole Linux type setup that Batman has in the actual movie that you see on the monitors. And the people that were working on these like HUDs and little details really implemented that to the max, and you can really see it here, and I think it works super well. It really does work. I am a sucker for it. It's a bit overwhelming, but obviously you don't use those top bits there. You just use all of these other bits. So he dives, and wow, dude, obviously it's a bit stiff, but the music is cool. Dude, I would have been probably playing the hell out of this. It was very early on, as you can clearly tell, but I really like the way it looks, right? So I wonder if the Arkham games took a bit of inspiration from this, because they were developed like side by side, and if one got cancelled, they could have taken some elements, like especially the camera view there is quite interesting too. So I think in a second as well, we're gonna see some stealth up there, but look at that level up screen. I love that. I just love the way it looks, and definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as well, if you're new to the channel, drop a like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button like Batman hits that guy, because damn, he got his ass knocked out. Wow, man. So you got AoE stuns to stun everybody, so he does like kind of like a roundhouse kick, right? Interesting. So this would have been quite something. He grapples up there, and this is the stealth bit here, and we're going to see some detective mode where he goes in first person as well to look for evidence. So check that out. He's going to scan that evidence, which like I've already seen this, so I'm just trying to kind of explain what's going on and narrate. And then he's gonna go into the next room, still stealthily, like Splinter Cell style. Like he would obviously beat their ass, but I guess this game obviously encourages a lot of stealth as well. Because that is Batman's thing, right? He doesn't really just go in there and bust everyone's ass. Like he can, but check that out. He throws a smoke grenade in there. And now it's time to just kick ass. So night vision mode as well, very cool, but it does tank the FPS. So just beat that guy and then goes back out. And now we're gonna look at some select some thumbnails here as well, and different like screenshots to kind of finish it all off. So you got the DNA recombination sequence, the evidence web, which would have been the whole story thing. So the more you progress through the story, the more the evidence web would kind of connect together, and I think that would have been quite cool of a thing to see as well in this game, see it unfold. So you got rooftop crime scenes, and then this is the gadget, so like the gadget select screen. Obviously you can see all the gadgets that were there on that wheel, so that's quite cool, right? Then you've got the focus here and stuff as well. So like the different types of HUDs that they were kind of thinking of implementing, like, you know, the bottom one's kind of like GTA style a little bit, but I think the one I like the most is the more like simplistic one. Probably the first one, if I'm honest with you. The first one was quite simplistic, and maybe either the first one or this one here, right? Then, you know, we've got this bit here. Like we already saw this is when he levels up, he gets 50 XP, quest completed. You go first person here because he could, you know, go into detective mode. Now it is quite interesting, he's got no cape here, I just noticed that, so I wonder if that would have been a suit itself before you unlock the cape, right? So then here you've got like different types of things, I assume, around that would be on the map, like the actual map that you could like look around. So you could have like challenge points, protect missions, attack, driving missions, boss, find or go to, and I guess stealth missions or challenges. Then again, this is the Batsuit loadout, so you could have your combat stuff, stealth, gadgets, vehicles. So these are combat talents and different things like that as well. And then this is, I think this is the Batmobile slash Tumbler or something along the lines of that. And we've already seen this footage. So yeah, this was the Project Apollo icon as well. It would have looked cool, man. Like, I don't know. This on its own just looks so sick. It's definitely a shame it got cancelled, but you never know how the final game could have turned out. And it is cool to kind of get a window behind the scenes and what was going on here as well. So yeah, like I might go rewatch the Nolan trilogy, like the Dark Knight Trilogy movies, because this definitely makes me want to rewatch those. And yeah, make sure to subscribe and drop a like as well. Check out another video on the channel here that's recommended to you. Have an absolute wonderful day. Peace.